And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Of course, a brand new week. We started off yesterday with Joe Noto on the show. Great time with him, traditional country music out there. And of course, if you miss any shows, we're presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey in Honky Tonk, Texas. You can always catch us powered at the sportsguyspodcast.com. Football season kicking off coming up next week at CajunCountryRadio.com and, of course, HighTideCountry.net. Well, I tell you what, I think of Georgia and I think of the South. I want to hear the word peaches across all platforms, especially with this tune, this music video. Please welcome Cody Webb to the Backstage Pass. Cody, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm great. Been a little sick, but I can't complain, man. I'm alive and breathing, and I'm here talking to you. So,
that's
that's
good
appreciate you
to have.
having me.
We getting over all this stuff in the summer and all this sickness and stuff like that too. And I've had it, my wife's had it, my kid had it, and it's just all this stuff just keeps going around too. Well, let's talk about your upbringing, man, because I love the feel of this '90s country. I think it's something that's starting to make a little bit of a comeback in the industry right now. At least I'm hearing from several people that there's a demand for this. And when you got started, man, I'm gonna dive right into this latest single because I really feel like this fits you and this fits country music very well. To me, this is a top 10 on country radio right now. Having been a PD for a major market station, let's talk about this song, the backstory of it, and of course, man, the music video is kick ass too.
Oh, thank you, man. We had a blast shooting that music video. We actually shot it in my hometown. My video guy came down from Nashville, and it's kind of a vision I've had since we wrote the song. But it's funny you said Georgia because everybody knows Georgia's the peach state.
Yeah.
But I grew up in South Carolina, and there's a little tiny town, my hometown, Rich Spring, and just that town has one farm that grows more peaches than all of Georgia. So it's kind of a going joke around there, how Georgia calls himself the peach state, but the real peach state's right here, so in South Carolina. So I grew up in a town that grows tons of peaches, and a couple summers ago when we were back in my hometown from Nashville, and had a little daughter, and we make up funny little songs all the time, and we started making up a peaches song. And we had the line, peaches in a can, peaches in a basket, tractor pulling peaches, holding up traffic. And that stuck in my head for like a year, man. And finally I got together. I threw it out in about 10 co-writes. But finally me and my buddy Larry McCoy wrote the song and finished it up. So it was one of those that kind of was a dumb little kid song at first.
Well, it's got more of that country feel to it. Like I said, that 90s feel, and I love the video. Of course, all the peaches, the baskets of it, back of the truck, stuff like that too. And definitely just a great music video too. I want to get a little bit of your backstory. Kind of when did you know that music bug was going to go from maybe, I guess people say sometimes, well, we start out as a hobby or we get it at a young age, but then we kind of realize we pick up a guitar, pick up an instrument. This is something we want to do for the rest of our life. When did it kind of hit you that you were going to take this to a full-time career?
I feel like I have the most gradual story of, I feel like everybody's story is a little different, how they get into music, but man, I feel like it was never not a part of what I was doing. My mom was the music minister at the church I grew up in, and always had me, singing this or, playing a song in church. And my dad wrote songs from way before I was born. He probably written over 100 songs by when I was born, and probably 200. And he had a local band. So when I was growing up, I'd always go to their shows, and when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I picked up the guitar, and one of the guys in his band helped me learn a few chords. And by the time I was 12, I was playing some local festivals and practicing with them on Sundays. And my dad and I started playing some acoustic shows throughout high school, middle school, and all. And when I went to Clemson, I went to college, I started playing all the time, downtown on the weekends and traveling around the state, playing little dive bars, anywhere that would have me. And I don't know, I feel like I never had that moment, but man, it just kind of was a gradual thing. When I graduated from Clemson with a mechanical engineering degree, I said, if I don't try to give music a shot right now, like I'll never go back and do it. So why not just, go to Nashville and give it a shot while I'm young. So.
Which is something that you see a lot of people kind of doing these days because that's where you have to be. It's kind of the music capital of the world, Music City as it's called. And definitely you got your writers there. You got people to collaborate with. And I tell you what, speaking of collaboration, I'm starting to see a lot more come back now with these really cool, just the greats and just an example for people out there who don't know what I'm talking about. Just saw the 50th anniversary of the CMA Fest that happened at Nissan Stadium there, all the performances. And you get like a Vince Gill with the new modern day sound of Luke Combs. You get a little bit of Miranda Lambert with a pop artist like Avril Lavigne. How important is that in Nashville for you? Maybe a co-write, collaboration when it comes to writing a song?
Man, are you saying the importance of having co-writers?
Yeah, just co-writers and the collaboration just in the music industry in general.
Oh, that's everything. That's the reason I moved to Nashville. And, to me, the most important thing, it starts with a song, and, the best songwriters in country are there. And I mean, now, luckily, when I'm on the road, even when I'm not in Nashville, I do Zoom writes, and I've written a lot of good songs. I wrote Peaches on Zoom, actually. We've written so many songs on Zoom now. It's crazy. But yeah, I think the songwriting community there, to me, is what makes it so special.
When you look at songs, and we'll go back a little bit here with Money Well Wasted, I thought that was one of the ones that I had fun listening to there, which came out as a single for you guys last year. Tell us about how this one got started.
Yeah, so I wrote that one with Daniel Johnson and Jordan Rowe, just a couple buddies of mine.
Oh, yeah.
We started it, years ago. And it's one of those things that we just, had to co-write. I think we had that first verse done, and it took us probably 3 years to get back on the song. And right before we went in to record, I guess it was 2021, we finished it up probably the week before we went and recorded, and threw it on the session last minute, and all liked how it turned out. So we ended up putting it out as a single.
When you go back to those 90s country, me being from Texas down here, we were talking a little bit before the show, my area, Tracy Byrd, Mark Chestnut, Clay Walker, the Hall of Famer, George Jones, who's been out there, the huge number of hits he had too. For you, does it kind of feel like there's a blend of maybe that early 2000s kind of style where it happened? And do you go back to a little 90s country as far as the musical influences are concerned?
Absolutely, man. I remember vividly when I was 5 years old, my dad came home with a cassette tape in his shirt pocket with it had Chattahoochee on it. Chattahoochee was my favorite song, and I wore that thing slam out. But I guess my earliest influence was that, the 90s country stuff, and I was growing up in the 90s, and Southern rock. Man, my dad always had the Southern rock channel on, so it was Skinner, Allman Brothers, and Pink Floyd, and all that stuff. And that's what really made me want to play guitar. So I guess it started more as a guitar player, and as I got more into it, I realized how much I love songwriting. I fell in love with Eric Church's first 3 records in college, and I feel like Eric Church is the one that really made me want to pursue Nashville and songwriting more than just being a musician and playing in a band.
Love it too. Love the sound for This Town Ain't Small Enough too, which I know came out last February. It's a single for you guys too. This one had a huge kind of buzz out there too when it first came out too. But this is one that I think a lot of people from that small town can kind of feel a song like this, right?
I hope so. Yeah, that's the goal. That was when I wrote during the pandemic, and I grew up on a bunch of land in a small town, and my wife and I and my little daughter lived in Nashville in this tiny, not tiny, it was a townhouse, but you could reach out the window and touch your neighbor's house, So during the pandemic, man, we were so cooped up in the city and was just missing my little hometown more than ever, and sat up by myself till about 4 a.m. and wrote that song one night.
I love it too. You got a lot of great songs out there too. We're just kind of did a little tip of the iceberg here too, and just kind of getting started here with Cody Webb on the Backstage Pass. He's going to try to perform for us today. He says he feels like he needs to warm up for the shows coming up this weekend. So we'll take a quick time out here on the show again at hightidecountry.net, and presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and Honky Tonk Texas, and powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Don't forget high school football next week, the Viter Pirates, hence Clay Walker's alma mater down here too as well. We called the game with him last year when he was Grand Marshal of the parade. We'll kick off of the season coming up next week on Friday against the Silsbee Tigers. You catch the call at CajunCountryRadio.com. Quick timeout, more with Cody Webb. It is the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
And back here on the show, it is the Backstage Pass here with our featured artist of the day, Cody Webb. Love his country music out there too. If you guys want to check it out, it's across all the digital platforms out there. And of course, every song we talk about today is available for download out there. Get that stream count up, I always say, out there for every artist we talk to here on the Backstage Pass. Powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com, and presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and Honky Tonk Texas. Of course, catch us at hightidecountry.net net too. And let's talk about this one because it was a feel good one. You're just kind of standing there with always look at album covers when you're having fun with the song, doing our thing. You got this white T-shirt on, kind of got that little bit of cloudy kind of mix behind you. I want to say that almost that Roy G. Biv kind of rainbow feel to it, or at least the blue there. Kind of a fun song with this one too, and I'm sure in the studio this had to be fun to put your personal touch for doing our thing, right?
Yeah, I actually wrote that one with the producer I was working with at the time, and when we wrote right before we went in the studio, we were looking for kind of a fun summary song to lay down. So yeah, we had a lot of fun writing that one. Man, you have to make me look back at the album cover. I'm trying to look at it now. I got to look at it.
I loved it too, because you got that white T-shirt on too at the same time. And if you go back and look at it too, you seem like you had a lot of fun with the song too. It looks like there's like water behind you a little bit.
I got.
Like
yeah.
Summer anthem.
We took that picture at the beach. Actually, I remember now. We were shooting another video for a song called "Coast to Carolina."
Okay.
Out that year, and that was a picture we got during the shoot. So. I'm with you now. I had to go look at it.
It's all good. I tell you. Hey man, attention to details. What we do here on the show. It's a big part of the game here. Love this one because just that feel good. You got your life partner. You got someone that you really enjoy. So you mentioned their daughter too, and I just became a first time dad with a daughter myself too 3 years ago. So she's still kind of just loving daddy all over. But I love this song, "Crazy on Me," and man, it's such a great just that love song, that really good feel type of deal that it kind of makes me, for at least myself, understand how lucky I am in my life too. And I'm sure that was the message when you guys put this tune together, right?
Yeah, man. That's one of those songs that I've wanted to put out for so long, and I've had people, I've gotten talked out of it for so many years. I think we wrote it in 2016, I think it was, and every session I brought it up, and finally, my new team just started working with last fall. They're like, "Yes, let's do this," and so I was so excited to finally get this song out into the world. It's actually the third time we've recorded it, but the first time we've ever released it. So, I was super excited to get it done. My band, we shot a music video in my hometown again, in an old building I've always wanted to shoot a music video in. So it was cool to see it all come together.
Let me ask you this. What's your favorite part of being an artist? And then kind of a two-parter here. Favorite part being an artist, but then also too on the flip side of the coin, what's the most challenging part of being an artist?
I'm going to answer that in a few steps, I guess. People ask me all the time, do I like songwriting or being an artist better? And that's like the impossible question for me, because I love writing the songs that I play, and I love, playing the songs that I write. And it just, to me, it all works together. But I think, I've sort of rediscovered who I am as an artist and why I do what I do during the pandemic. It was one of the toughest times I've ever been through. But when all of our shows were canceled and we didn't know how we were going to pay our bills or, put out music, I just signed a record deal. We were, supposed to do a big radio tour, and just literally everything stopped and went away that I've been working for. And we ended up playing a tour we called House Calls. We went to people's backyards all over the place, and we were hoping to do 5 or 10 of them when it started. And I think we wound up doing over 100 of them over the next year or two. And man, I just fell in love with just going around and playing my songs for people that appreciated them. And so I'm going to say my favorite thing is just like meeting the people that appreciate my music, and just playing music for people that appreciate it. I love just getting to meet people everywhere we go. And I feel like I got all these little colonies of friendships all over the country, that now anywhere I go, I can call up somebody and go hang out. And I don't know, it's just a really cool thing to get to know so many great people.
Yeah. And of course the performance too. Talk about stage presence, because a lot of people, get into this maybe with a little bit of stage fright. They overcome it. At the same time, what's your favorite part of just playing on stage in front of a crowd?
You say my favorite part of playing
the energy? Is it kind of like just your energy feedback, having them sing your songs to you, and they can finish the lyrics of the verses, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no feeling like when you have a packed house, no matter if it's a small place full of, 100 people to sell out, or there's 10,000 people, it's just when you have a packed house and there's that energy in the room where everybody's just dialed in and having a good time and singing along with your songs, like there's just nothing like it. I tell people all the time, like I enjoy just as much or more playing a tiny little dive bar, where people are listening to you, as I do a huge amphitheater or whatever. Like I love every setting. I love everything about playing live. So,
all right, before I go to my favorite Cody Webb song out there too, and he probably is going to guess what I'm talking about before I spit it out here. Being a first time dad, this was really cool because yes, girl changes everything. when they come into your life too. And now mine is 3.5 in October, 4 years old next year. How old is your daughter, and where did this song really kind of originate from? Because I thought this was one of the best covers of an album, being a first-time dad to myself, where you have right there on the beach, girl changes everything for this particular single.
Yeah, so my daughter's 4,
Okay.
and we wrote this right after I found out my wife was pregnant. So I guess we wrote it about, I don't know, she's 4 years old and 3 months, so exactly 5 years ago, I guess, around then. But yeah, it was just all things I was feeling at the time when it's kind of an overwhelming thing when you find out you're about to become a dad. And wrote a few songs about it, actually. I might have to play a little sneak peek of one if we play some here in a little bit that we're putting out next this fall. One I wrote called "Don't Grow Up Too Fast." So that's really the song about my daughter. But yeah, man, it's being a dad's wild though. Like you never know what's next. Like it changes your whole life in so many good ways, and it just kind of changes your whole perspective on life.
Yep, and I'm right behind you because the next April she turns 4, and it just it's crazy. It's
mine will be 5 in April, so yeah, we're right there together.
Right there, you're apart, almost right there. We'll talk about a couple of more in just a second, including my favorite out there too. Well, I'll tell you what, if you can do it, I'm gonna turn it over to you to play a little bit. Definitely Peaches, or a lot of the great songs out there too that I'm enjoying here from Cody Webb here on the Backstage Pass.
Yeah,
brother, it's all yours.
Yeah, I'll see if I can pull off Peaches real quick.
All right.
We'll see how this goes. It's the first time I've tried to sing a song in over a week. So,
all right, it's all yours.
So, I guess they can't throw stuff at me, can they?
No, they can't. No, that's the beauty of life.
Yeah.
It's all yours.
What's that?
It's all yours. Take it away, brother.
Cool. We just put this out. New song called Peaches right here. So. Hush your mouth, I was way down south, round about mid-July. I saw a sign by the road, fresh peaches ahead, figured I'd give them a try. She was sitting there in a fold-out chair, looking bored with nothing to do. Then she turned and smiled, and those big blue eyes about to knock me out of my boots. Now I got peaches in a can, peaches in a basket, tractor pulling peaches, holding up traffic. Peaches rolling round in the bed of my truck, got a house full of peaches, all because of that pretty thing working at the roadside stand. I'm stopping by every day thinking, oh man, good God Almighty, Lord, thank you, Jesus, for slow talking, sweet southern peaches. Now I'm eating peaches every morning. Guess what's for supper tonight? I bought the honey and the jam, some ice cream, and then I even bought a jar of moonshine. Got boxes piled up on the front porch, gonna have to start giving them away. Well, I'm about sick of peaches, but here I go headed that way to get some more peaches in a can, peaches in a basket, tractor pulling peaches, holding up traffic. Peaches rolling round in the bed of my truck, house full of peaches, all because of that pretty thing working at the roadside stand. I'm stopping by every day thinking, oh man, good God Almighty, Lord, thank you, Jesus, for slow talking, sweet southern peaches. She says they're shutting down Labor Day. Just think about all the money I'll save. Got peaches in a can, peaches in a basket, tractor pulling peaches, holding up traffic. Peaches rolling round in the bed of my truck, got a house full of peaches, all because of that pretty thing working at the roadside stand. Got me thinking about putting a ring on her hand. Good God Almighty, Lord, thank you, Jesus, slow talking, sweet southern peaches. God Almighty, Lord, thank you, Jesus, sweet southern peaches. Sweet southern peaches.
And he did it right there.
All the peaches.
He did it. Like I said, no mistakes right there too. And didn't even cough. How about that, brother?
I was holding one in though.
He had to hold it in right there too. Great
Yeah.
job there. Hell of a guitar player, Cody Webb here on the Backstage Pass. Peaches, the current single
Peaches.
across all the digital platforms. And hey, I wanted to ask you about this one because a lot of fun. Just having we all love to fish and go out there and just ride on a boat. John Boat, how much fun was this putting your own kind of flair on this one?
Man, that was just one of the most fun days of my life in the business I'm doing. I just we had the whole band there, and believe it or not, it was the hottest day on record where we shot the video. And so it was May, it was the end of May. It was Memorial Day weekend. It was 103 degrees. And man, the camera overheated on the first thing we were shooting, but man, it was just a blast. We partnered up with Natural Light and Lake Murray, South Carolina Department of Tourism to shoot this video, and it was just an absolute blast.
It's a fun song, no doubt, too. I love it. And I got to ask you about, of course, my favorite one. I tell you, we'll take a time out and come back and do this because I tell you what, I think it was just one of the best songs ever written, recorded, put out there. Terrific instrumentation and the way you delivered it vocally. I'm talking about Zebco 33. We'll come back and talk about that one with Cody Webb here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. You can also catch us at hightidecountry.net and presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas. More with Cody Webb. Stay tuned.
Cool.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Hey, coming up on the show the next couple of weeks, August 18th, brand new album from the group Ricochet, celebrating over 30 years in the business after getting started in 1993 with a song called Daddy's Money. Heath Wright going to be here on the Backstage Pass, Ricochet, and talk more about the new album for them coming out next Friday. Some really good songs coming out next week, too. Randall King's putting out one, our good friend Randall King, and a whole lot more out there on the Backstage Pass. We try to keep you abreast of everything going on in the country music industry. Back here with Cody Webb on the show. I got to ask you about this because it reminded me so much of my youth, and this was the kind of probably the feel-good tune of just my summer, I guess you could say, another summer anthem I love so much too, that you guys were able to put out beginning of June. Zebco 33. Now, I love to fish, grew up with it on a pond. Grandma and Grandpa just love to be out there every day. Man, what a song. First of all, I'm going to commend you on just a hell of a song. And a great ride.
Oh, thank you, man. That was
took me back to my youth, and tell us all about this one because, man, this hit right here in the old ticker.
Yeah, I mean, just to be honest, I feel like that's the song I moved to Nashville to write. Like I don't know, it probably means more to me than any I've written since I moved there, and it's definitely as real as it gets for me. You know, every line of that song, I can feel it and see it, and I don't know, it's one of those that's just real for me.
It definitely is. And I'll tell you this, it makes for a good brand for a fishing pole. So if nobody's ever fished with one too, you do catch a lot of cool things depending on what bait or lure you want to use on that son of a gun too as well. I've caught a lot of good fish on Zebco out there too. She's Carolina. This is another good feel one too that I'm out there too. One of your top songs that people can stream out there too across their platforms. Tell us all about the She's Carolina.
Yeah, you know, I wrote that one with a good friend of mine from Australia, Miss Tamara Stewart, and you know, she's never even been to the Carolinas, and one of the first times we wrote together, she's like, you know, you need to write a song about where you're from, mate. And I was like, all right, well, I'm from South Carolina, so we started on it, and it is what it is, and just kind of one of those that I never really planned to put out, but back when Facebook Live was kind of new, I sat down and played on Facebook Live, and the video kind of blew up a little bit, and you know, we made a little lyric video out of it, and it ended up getting a couple million views on there, and just kind of one of those that gave us a little jump start for putting music out. Kind of the first one I've had that did anything, you know. But this is one of those that's still kind of hanging on. I always get asked to play it at our shows, especially in South Carolina, North Carolina. But
home state responds well to it too. Such as that one too, no doubt. So I got to ask this one. I know your phone hadn't rang yet, but I know it's going to probably ring soon because I got a chance to go to the Grand Ole Opry for the first time back in March. We're covering CRS up there in Nashville at the Omni, the country radio seminar they do every year. And I decided to take my co-host and, of course, over there to the Opry, and we got to sit down and see a whole just great boatload of talent and enjoy it, too. The reason I say your phone hadn't rang, if it's going to ring, it's going to ring pretty soon. Is that a dream stage, number one, for you to step on? And two, is that phone close by just in case you get that phone call?
Absolutely, yes to both of them. It's definitely a dream, and I would love to be a part of it. And it's just sitting here ready. I just kind of stare at it all day, just waiting on it.
Well, you keep putting out songs such as this, my friend, and I got to ask you about what's next, because all these great songs are doing so well out there for you, and the streams are doing well too, especially with Peaches and Zebco 33 and John Boat and the ones we talked about today. What's next? The goals, I guess, now that we're 8 months into this year with 4 months left, what's coming next for Cody Webb?
Yeah, so we just kind of started back putting music out. Like I told you, through the pandemic, we I'd signed a record deal, then spent a year getting out of that, and just kind of been trying to put everything back together. But just started with an amazing team last fall, and like I said, we just started recording, putting out music. So we put out 4 this year. We're putting out another one called "If Daddy Didn't Have a Truck." Not this Friday, but next Friday. Super excited about this song, and we got one more after that coming out this year, and one in the pipeline ready for January. And we're just gonna continue to grow, grow everything, just doing it on our own, putting out music, and we got tons of shows this fall, man. This fall has turned into one of those just, every weekend there's something somewhere all over the place, and just gonna keep writing songs, keep putting them out there, and as long as people will listen and have us go play shows, so we're just having a blast with it right now.
So your new one's coming out August 25th, which is next week, correct? On
That's
Friday.
Right.
All right. See, I was jumping the gun because I forgot today's like the 15th or 16th is tomorrow. So I'm like jumping the gun. The 18th is this Friday for some of the new music I talked about from Randall King and Ricochet. Cody Webb's is going to be August 25th. I just wanted to clarify that here on the Backstage Pass. Can't wait for that one. I'll turn it up and turn it on and probably stream it as many times as I did Zebco 33 and Peaches, and a lot of great songs from Cody out there. All right, let's have a little fun. We got through the particulars, enjoy a little rapid fire. So a series of funny questions I throw out there, and you never know what's going to come out. And on a personal basis. All right, favorite hobbies away from music. You're not doing music, you got downtime. What do you enjoy doing?
Oh, there's always the fishing, hunting thing. I feel like particular stuff on the coast, shrimp. We're going to try to do a shrimping trip this year. Getting ready to go on an elk hunt in Montana for the first time this December. So I love the outdoors, anything like that. Other than that, music obviously is my full-time job, but it still feels like, every time I'm in a ride, man, it just feels like I'm having the time of my life, and I play shows the time of my life, so traveling and getting to do all the things we do on the road feels like a hobby, but it's my job. So I feel like I get to live my favorite hobby.
You really do, no doubt, too. Favorite foods to eat when you like to cook or take out, what do you get?
Dude, I love there's nothing I don't like. I just love good food. I'm all over the place with it, too. I love everything.
Okay.
I go through phases. Like when we're on the road, we're eating Chick-fil-A every time. Like that's like the only, I feel bad because I ask my band, are y'all tired of it? Are you sure y'all want to do Chick-fil-A? Because I kind of do. They're like, yep, we all do. So we're waiting on that Chick-fil-A sponsorship.
We all need that, no doubt.
Yeah.
First song ever to sing live on stage for Cody. What was it?
The first song I ever sang live?
Yeah.
Man, I think it was Hotel California.
Eagles, all right?
I think it was Hotel California.
I love that, too. You're doing well with this, brother. Last series to binge watch. What'd you get into?
Oh, man. My wife and I, during this time we've been sick, I'm almost embarrassed to admit it because it's one of those shows you get into and you're like, why am I watching this? But you kind of can't turn back anymore, was Manifest. So,
okay.
I don't know. But
I've not seen that one. I got to check that out.
No, you don't.
I don't? Okay.
No, I'm not saying it's terrible. It's one of those that just it drags you along, it keeps you just interested enough to watch the next one, but it's kind of never really goes anywhere. But anyway.
I love that. All right, last song that wasn't yours. So last song that you got to stream on any type of iPod or whatever it is now, through the earbuds, whatever, Spotify, SoundCloud. Last song to stream that wasn't yours. What was it?
Yeah. Why would I stream my own song? No.
Well, you know what?
I'm gonna add to this viral thing that's happening right now, unlike I've ever seen it. Is this guy Oliver Anthony? I'm sure you've seen Oliver Anthony all over everything the last few days, right? Yeah. So I think that's the last thing I streamed. I streamed it this morning, just to check it out online, and it's just unreal because we're playing a place that he just played, this Morris Farm. He just played last weekend that
Mhm.
had a huge turnout. We're playing that coming up. And anyway, yeah, I love what he's doing. And I think it's just amazing to see how fast this song's blowing up.
All right, I got to ask you about this one because a lot of great ladies are doing their thing. Country music now feels like there's this little bit of the wind is shifting and blowing now with Lainey Wilson and Lindsay L. and McBride, Ashley McBride, and so many great these ladies doing their thing and kind of rising to the top again. What's your take on this kind of female movement in country music now, which is really taking Nashville by storm?
Yeah, I mean, I think let them do what they do. Like they're great. I mean, I don't try to. If I like a song and I like an artist, it has nothing to do with if they're there's no prejudice here by any means. If they're a man or a woman or skin color or any of that, like I just love good music and love talented people. I love what Lainey's doing. She's wife and I've known who she is since we moved to town, and yeah, I'm all about it. I love especially stuff I grew up on. Some of the older female artists, Reba and Jody Messina, all that stuff. I'm a big fan.
I love it too. All right, so vinyl records. Any plan for Cody Webb in the future to put out a vinyl record?
We've talked about it. I would love to do that, but I haven't done it yet. But I think I might have to think more on that because I think it'd be really cool.
Hey, I collect them, so if you do, be sure to send me one down here.
So at least sell one, but I'd give you one, so I wouldn't have a sale there.
Hey, which is cool because I got the new player, and I tell you, man, I got one at Randall's show last time we were there, just talking to him, just good friend of the show here, Randall King, and I still haven't taken off the plastic, just so you know. If you send me one, I'll probably keep the plastic on it for a little bit longer out there too. Big show's coming up this weekend. Tell us where you'll be coming up this week.
We are opening for Eddie Montgomery at the Ice House Amphitheater in Lexington, South Carolina on Friday. And then we're playing in Montgomery, Alabama on Saturday, a place called Range 231.
Okay.
Yep. So we just posted our tour poster. I think it was this past week on all of my socials, and it has all the dates through end of October.
Well, looking forward to that too. Eddie plays a hell of a show, and definitely you're going to be right there with him, doing your thing. It's your brand of country music. I love it so much, and man, it's just these great '90s country feel songs, neo-traditional country that's definitely making a comeback. You're keeping it real, and it's songs like Peaches, man, that are doing it out there, brother. Well, I tell you what, go download it out there and give Cody a like across all the digital platforms, social media. Make sure those stream counts get up there. Cody, pleasure to have you here on the show. I hope you do feel better very soon, the entire household there. Best of luck to you and the wife as you move forward. The new music next week. Single comes out August 25th, and looking forward to that. And, brother, you come back here anytime, and we'll talk more music and have you play some more.
Well, heck yeah, man. I appreciate it, Brandon. Thank you for having me, and keep in touch, man.
We'll do it, no doubt. Cody Webb out there across all the digital platforms. Go download Peaches. Our thanks to go out to our friends at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas. You can catch us at HighTideCountry.net and the SportsGuysPodcast.com. We're off tomorrow. We'll see you back Thursday. Until then,